Hi, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay, that's a relief. That's our first hurdle cleared. Welcome, and thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to join us tonight. My name is Jeremy Siskind, and I'm just so thrilled that you're all joining me for kind of a hastily put together event, but one that I think is going to be really special. So you're about to kind of hear from a bunch of musicians who have all taught, worked, or even lived in and around Beirut. And I never really thought in my life I would visit Lebanon or Beirut. Please stay muted, if you will. But having been there, it was such an incredible place, and it has so much history. And in recent days, weeks, years, of course, many of you know that for years, Lebanon had a really terrible civil war. And then this year, they had an awful financial crisis before the pandemic. Then the pandemic hit, and then they had this terrible explosion in Beirut. So a lot of people in and around Lebanon could really use our hand right now because it's just been one disaster stacked on top of another. So today is a fundraiser, just raise a little bit of awareness. I did post a link in the program, and I'll be sharing that more of a place from somebody that we know personally, and we know that the money will go somewhere that will be useful in the community. So anything that you give will really be appreciated. And just to fill you in a little bit on what's happening this evening, there's going to be a mixture of live performances and recorded performances. I work with people all over the world through an organization called Jazz Education Abroad. And particularly, we have a lot of Europeans and Asians, and they're not necessarily able to make it in this time zone. So a lot of them really wanted to participate, so they sent in performances that we'll be showing to you. And I think some of them are going to be really special. But I'm going to get us started with a little bit of music here. So I'm going to play a song that I've been thinking about a lot during the pandemic. And it's really because of the title. I know many of us have been very isolated, and particularly thinking about Lebanon and our work with Jazz Education Abroad. We really want to be together with students, with people who love music, with jazz lovers from all over the world. So this tune is called We'll Be Together Again. And I offer it in the spirit that hopefully soon we all will be together again in the same room, making music, enjoying each other again. So please enjoy.
Concert for Beirut at some point when you come back in and give them another set of eyeballs. Just, I mean, you don't have to stay. It's a Zoom thing.
Let me try that again. Now we're going to transition into a couple of videos, and it's kind of cool to be able to share these videos because they come from very different people from all over the world. So the first is from Rosario Giuliani, a saxophonist from Italy, and you'll see that he filmed the video in somewhere very special. And then we have a wonderful pianist and composer who I've worked with for quite a while, Denny Uprasert from Bangkok, Thailand. And he's going to share a piece that he wrote inspired by his travel and teaching abroad. So give me just a second to transition, and you will enjoy these two videos. There we go. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear.
Hello, everyone. I'm here in Terracina. It's the city where I'm born. I just want to talk to you about something, about incredible experience that I had last year in Beirut. Beirut, in my opinion, is one of the great cities that I never been in my life. I met incredible people. I had an incredible time. 1 week with the JAIR, with the jazz education abroad, with some other friends and some other musicians. And I just played a song for you because I would like to encourage you to make a donation for all people there, because I think they had a tragic moment about the explosion, about the disaster that they had. And a lot of people now stay in a really, really difficult moment. And please, don't thinking too much, and please give a donation for them. And then we would like, with music, with all the guys from the JEA, we really would like to help them with music. And I hope that my song and Body and Soul can be help for them, just to give a little help for everything. I hope that you are enjoy, and I would like to say thank you so much for JEA, and say hello to all my friends there in Beirut. And I hope to see you soon probably in another good moment, not like that. Please, force, encourage you, and then stay safe until the end. Okay, ciao. I'm Rosario Giuliani.
The great part about being a teacher and also a musician is to be able to get to travel around the world, meet wonderful people. I would like to dedicate this composition of mine, it's called Overseas Adventure Travel, to the Lebanese people. Our thoughts and our prayer with you. Hang in there, please take care of yourself.
That was Denny, Dr. Denny, as we call him in the Rangsit School of Music big band. So now I have the pleasure of turning it over for another live performance to a gentleman who's becoming a better and better friend and a really valued colleague all the time. And I'm talking about Mr. Scott Donald. And we actually met giving a presentation about teaching in Lebanon at a big piano conference a couple summers ago. So he's got a really interesting piece to play for you. And there's going to be a slideshow. He's going to talk a little bit about Lebanon. So on his cue, I'm going to load up a slideshow for you as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Scott Donald.
Hi, everybody. Excuse me. My name is Scott Donald, like Jeremy said. Greetings coming to you from Austin, Texas. I just want to say it's just an amazing evening to come together and share music and to talk about an incredibly important work that's being done in Lebanon and in the Middle East in general. There's some wonderful programs going on. But I'd like to just start the evening by saying, actually, if Jeremy wants to start the slideshow, that would be great. I just wanted to start the evening by my part by saying, you know, growing up in Greenville, South Carolina, I never imagined that I would utter the phrase, I'm going to go to the Middle East and teach piano. It's certainly nothing that was in the color wheel at that time. And as an adult, I never imagined I would say that. When I teach with another organization that does work there and in other countries around the world, and what I found was that people were scared. They thought, this is really dangerous. Why would you do that? Well, I tell you, the person that brought me to this place was another colleague of mine that taught there, and the stories he told they were just absolutely compelling. And when I heard this, I said, this is something I have to do. I feel this is important work. So 5 years ago, my journey began. And because of that, I am truly a changed person because of this experience. My first summer there was spectacular. We had students that were there from all over the region, from Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Kurdistan, Jordan, Egypt, Sudan. We worked with all different ages in music and classical music, in Broadway, in composition. It was an amazing program. And the faculty that I taught with were absolutely remarkable people, giving of their time, going around the world teaching. It was so amazingly inspiring to be with those people. Of course, my first concern was as I went was how about communication? What's it gonna be like? Well, as I found to be true, I mean, the Arabic is the first language, but I mean, English is also spoken in French. I felt actually kind of stupid because I was like, hey, I speak one language. These kids speak 3 languages. But what I found was that the common experience of all of us in working together, like this beautiful group right here you see in front of you, there are just beautiful things to see and how we could share our problems. The picture right now, that's the composer, young man that I'm going to play his piece in just a moment, Jarir. But what I found was that our common goals in music making are universal. Sharing music and being able to learn and grow from each other. There's a wonderful saying that's on the main performance venue at Interlochen Center for the Arts, where I also teach in the summers. And on the back wall, it says, dedicated to the promotion of world friendship through the universal language of the arts. That statement rings more clearly to me now than ever before after having this opportunity. What about the stories of the students? You know, that's another thing that some of these in rehearsals and in time talking with these kids, you would hear things. I just was dumbfounded. I just imagine coming out of their mouths. For instance, there was a young kid, especially the ones from Iraq and Syria. There was a young girl the first year I was there who was working on with a coaching, and she said, "Oh, I know that's last summer, 2 summers ago. I had a great opportunity to learn how to do that." So when we were talking in our rehearsal, she said, you know, she really had to move. Her family lived in Syria, but they had to move because the village next to hers was bombed and destroyed. So, I mean, what do you say to, you know, a 10-year-old when they tell you a story like that? Well, all I had to say was, I'm so glad that you're here today and that we can share music together. We had students also from a couple of years ago that were from Aleppo. And, you know, I heard a conversation between a couple of the faculty member and these 2 women that were there. And she said, you know, you just get used to bombings. You know, again, what do you say to that? We've seen this year what's going on. It's just amazing that the tenacity in their desire to learn and share music and grow. Many of these younger musicians have overcome so many things to be where they are and to be able to share their music with others. You know, we feel like we have problems, and of course, everybody the world ever has problems. I love to be able to share that we are all very similar in that way. A lot of those kids think that everything is great and fantastic in the U.S. Yes and no. We have our issues just like they have their issues. Although I will say, you know, when we talk about some of the kids that are from, or the older students too, that are from like Iraq, Kurdistan region, you know, we've never had to bury our instruments or hide them away because of the fear that an organization like ISIS would destroy them or arrest us for making music. Through music making, we can develop relationships that affect changes in attitudes and perceptions of varying ethnic, religious, and political backgrounds. Sharing culturally important music is how we learn about a society. It is a powerful message that we can all benefit from as we strive to become a more compassionate society. As you know, the things that have been going on this year have been truly, truly terrible. The bomb, the blast that just happened, the financial, you know, just destruction basically of a country, a lot of unrest. You know, this is our chance to be able to give and help. And this money is going directly to someone that is in Beirut and is going to families and to people that need this money. It is being distributed in a very efficient manner. So I encourage you to give. I'm going to play for you a piece by, like I said, Jarir. I showed the picture of him, Jarir Anna. This is a piece that he wrote a few years ago. It's called Almost Tonal, and I will be glad to share that with you now as I move into place. Thank you all for listening, and give. I appreciate the time and effort, and thanks Jeremy so much for helping this come together.
Thanks so much, Scott. What a cool piece. Man, that was really neat. Now we have two more videos. We have two of the real virtuosos on the electric bass in the world who work with us with Jazz Education Abroad. And they both sent in videos. I think, you might think, oh, solo bass, that's not going to be much to hear. But actually, in this case, I think you're going to be really impressed. So from the island of Cyprus, we have Jahit, and then Damien Erskine, who lives in Portland, but actually, amazingly, he has a gig tonight. I don't know who has gigs at this point, but that's how good Damien is. He's got a gig on a Friday night during a pandemic. So he's going to come to us virtually. And he's actually got a really interesting project to share that is music drawn from Middle Eastern cultures. So if you give me just a second to switch over, we're going to hear from Jahit and Damien. Start that over again.
Hey everybody, Damien Erskine here. First, let me apologize for not being able to be there in real time. I actually have a gig booked right now, your time. But I wanted to reach out and just let all my brothers and sisters in Lebanon, Beirut, and around the world know how much the Lebanese people have affected me. I absolutely adore this country and all of my brothers and sisters there. I have many fond memories. Been there 3 or 4 times teaching with jazz education abroad at Notre Dame, NDU, and made some just phenomenal friends. Whether I'm thinking of joking around with my friend Malcolm and walking around the waterfront there, climbing around the hills up in the mountains with my buddy Alex, or visiting Biblos, or having dinner at Tony's. The memories are too many and too lush and meaningful to me to express here. So I just wanted to chime in and let you know that my thoughts and prayers are with all of you. And as I'm a bass player and not much for solo bass, I thought I would share a little bit of music from a group that I work with called Siskind. We recorded an album in the south of Spain. Essentially, the group is half Arabic and with a lot of Spanish flamenco interwoven into the mix. The songs are mostly sung in Arabic, English, and French. And I thought of this group specifically much because the spirit of the group reminds me of the spirit of my friends in Lebanon, but also because we've been working before COVID. We were working on pulling together a tour, bringing us to the Middle East as well as parts of Europe. And I was really hoping that my friends in Lebanon would be able to see this group live because it is a lot of fun and some beautiful music made by some beautiful people, which very much resonates with my memories and feelings of Lebanon and Beirut in particular. I just love the region, and I look forward to coming back as soon as possible. So with that said, just know that I love you. My thoughts are with you all, and I hope you enjoy some of this music.
Dans la chaleur brûlante pour pouvoir finalement trouver le refuge. Nous pouvons maintenant respirer et voir les dessins de sa trophée. C'est fini la recherche affaiblissante. Il est temps pour nous d'écouter une fois que nous entendons le mot. On n'est plus jamais seul et tout à coup la vie nous donne une autre chance, une autre chance. أحيانا كلمة تجيب على كل الأسئلة في قلوبنا. شجرة في الصحراء تعطينا ظلا بحثنا عليه طويلا. قطعنا الصحراء الحارقة لنجد أخيرا المأوى. يمكننا أن نتنفس الآن ونرى رسومات الريح. انتهى بحثنا المنهك، لقد آن الأوان لنصغي. وعندما نسمع تلك الكلمة تذهب الوحدة عنا، وفجأة تمنحنا الحياة فرصة جديدة، فرصة جديدة. Parfois, un seul mot toutes les questions dans nos cœurs.
Now we get to have another live performance from a really world-class musician. I'm really excited to introduce one of my absolute favorite guitarists. He's coming to us from Fresno, California. It's Mr. Mike Dana. So Mike,
Hello everyone,
take it away.
my name is Loizos Pafitis and I'm a guitar player. I live in Cyprus
I'm actually hearing Luisos right now.
and also play some music for the
That's no good.
benefit concert
Okay.
for Beirut.
I just need to maybe pause my video.
In 2015, I got
Great. Now it's all yours, Mike.
Okie doke. Great. Well, first of all, much love to Jeremy for putting this together. As you've heard some of the other faculty people mention, we've had this opportunity with Jazz Education Abroad to see the world and share music that we love, but also be inspired by all the different places we've been. And I think between all the faculty there, it's literally been all over the world. It's pretty amazing. My experiences in Beirut were, as others have said before, really, really awesome. I fell in love with the country. It was really hot there in the summer, and I'm in Central California, so it's really hot here too. So I was totally used to that. But just the combination of the history and the beauty of the people and the food and Byblos. Every time we've been there, we've made a little day trip to Byblos, and it's just spectacular. And it's a cliche, but it's also based in truth that travel really does change people. And having had the opportunity to go there, I was trying to think of some of the things that really impressed me. And I think it was the last time I was there, there was a group of Syrian refugees. And if I remember right, there were maybe 20, 22, 24 young people. And just in thinking of what they went through to be there and all the things that they had to give up in their lives, and yet they still found a place in their heart to play music, which just was really, really spectacular. And so I was thinking about hearts, and the tune I picked to play is My Foolish Heart, which is not to say my heart is foolish. I just really, really like this tune. But I would like, I guess just one final thought, if something like the explosion that happened there in the port a while back had happened in any of our cities, we would be absolutely there to help and pitch in and do whatever we could do. And I feel like that's kind of my city too, in a way. And so when Jeremy put this together, and Jeremy, thank you so much for doing this. It was an absolute yes. And I'm really happy to be here and happy to be seeing all of you people that I've worked with.
Your brother son.
So without further ado, I'm going to cue up the band and play a tune called My Foolish Heart. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mike. Beautiful playing as always. All this has made me think of one of my favorite Lebanon stories, and one thing that I think about, that makes Lebanon such a magical place. So I was cruising around Hamra, which is like the Greenwich Village of Beirut, with my friend Makram, who's a great acoustic bass player. And there was an ice cream shop, and I'm a sucker for ice cream. And so we stopped, and he was deciding between two flavors or something. And I said, Makram, get them both. I said, you only live once. And he said, Jeremy, actually, I'm Druze, and we believe in reincarnation. So that doesn't apply to me. But that's just the kind of place Lebanon is. It has so many variations of spirituality. It's so in touch with these vast, deep, old spiritual traditions that even something as so simple as deciding between two different flavors of ice cream could become a lesson for me in ways that maybe I've oversimplified something. So anyway, that's just a story that came to mind. Now we have two more videos. We have another guitarist who's been working with jazz education abroad named Loizos Pafitis, who comes from Cyprus. And then we'll have the artistic director of jazz education abroad, Mariano Abello, who's going to play a really cool flamenco flute piece for you. So do stick around for that. And then after that, we're going to be getting more live music from Christina Lee, who come from Seattle. And she actually lived in Lebanon, in Beirut for many years. So I know that she brings a unique perspective.
I'm doing it with no.
So that's what's coming up. Give me a second to share my screen.
Hello everyone, my name is Loizos Pafitis and I'm a guitar player. I live in Cyprus. Just wanted to share a quick story with you and also play some music for the benefit concert for Beirut. In 2015, I got the chance to teach at the Jazz Education Abroad jazz workshop in Cyprus. And the faculty there was people coming from the US and also from Lebanon. So I met Rafi Madalian, a wonderful guitar player, Makram Abul, great bass player, and Tom Hornick, saxophone player. actually is an American who lives with his family in Beirut. And, you know, people from the Mediterranean have so many things in common in their lifestyle. So during the workshop, we actually became friends over food and music. We kept in touch and always said that we're going to meet again, but it never happened. Fast forward 2019, I got asked to teach at the same workshop, but this time the workshop was happening in Lebanon, in Beirut. So there was my chance to see my friends again. Not only did I see my friends again, but I also met new ones. I met Donna Khalife, wonderful singer and bass player, Arthur Satian, piano player, and Omar Harb, bass player. You know, we would finish our lessons in the afternoon, and they would force us into their cars and take us everywhere, take us to the seaside, take us to see all the important places in Beirut. And we got the chance to taste Beirut like locals, basically. So their hospitality was beyond imagination, and I personally felt that I was treated like family. Last week, when I heard the bad news, I rushed over to my phone and started texting all my friends to see if they were okay. Luckily, all my friends and the people that I know are safe, but many people have lost their loved ones, have lost their houses, and are struggling for shelter and food. And it's such a terrible thing to happen to this beautiful place. You know, Lebanon is a beautiful country, and Beirut is a magical city. I hope people around the world will help any way they can. If you can send food or clothes, and if you can donate, that would be great. Also, like to play some music for you. This is a song I wrote many years ago. I never got a chance to record it, basically, because I felt that it was kind of personal and unfinished. But I would like to dedicate it to my friends and everyone that is in need right now. It's called Split in Two. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. This is Mariano Bello. I'm from Spain, where I'm staying right now. And probably at the time that you're watching this video, I'm sleeping. And that's the reason I had to record it. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for putting all this together. It's wonderful. So, as Jeremy asked me to tell some stories about Lebanon, well, the first one that I remember is arriving to Lebanon the first time in 2009, I believe. We landed at the airport and we took some taxis to go to, there were several of us, to go to a taxi stop behind a bridge. It was close to midnight. And were these big, old Mercedes-Benz taxis, pretty much beaten up. And we had to take those taxis to go to Damascus in Syria. So if you know the geography of Lebanon, Lebanon is like this. So you have the ocean and high mountains. So to go to Syria, you have to go through the mountains and going down again. And to go up the mountains, it's all like this. You know. During the day, it's really busy. It's a lot of traffic. But at midnight, there was no traffic at all. So these taxis were going so fast. I couldn't believe it. We were just going, driving up to these curves like 120 kilometers per hour. I was just wondering one of these wheels is going to just jump off the car, you know. Anyway, we arrived to Damascus. It was an amazing city. So after Damascus, we were driving back to Lebanon. And Dr. Jean asked me if I wanted to join him to do a workshop over there. And I said, yeah, of course. So I don't remember where was it. Probably one of the villages, probably Bet Mary or Pasquinta. We were part of an association that there is called LEBAM, Lebanese Band Association for Music. So we arrived over there, and they put us in some rooms that were inside a convent. Well, it wasn't a convent, and convent is for nuns. So the convent for guys. I don't know the word in English. But we were put over there. I don't know if you've ever been in a convent at night. It's pretty different than during the day. I don't believe in spirits or anything like that. But I don't know, in between the night and the silence of the night, there were noises over there. I remember one time I had to go to the bathroom and I woke out and it was pretty scary. Anyway, the Lebanese are amazing people, lovely. It's pretty much, I feel every time that I go over there, since 2009, I've been going every year, and I feel pretty much at home
is very similar to my culture, or probably my culture is very similar to their culture. Traveling to all these Arab countries, I realized many things of my own culture. For example, one time we were in Iraq, and at 1 o'clock everything was closed, and I said, why things are closed? Say 1 to 4, everything closed. And I say, why? Well, because people have to eat and take a nap. And I say, wow. So that's where the famous Spanish siesta comes from. Actually, it's not ours, it's Arab. You know, we were conquered, Spain, the peninsula was conquered by the Arabs for 800 years. I mean, that's a long time. So we have a lot of their culture. But the mountains, I'm not really in love of Beirut. It's a capital, busy, traffic, angry people. But I love the mountains. In Lebanon, everything is peaceful. People are wonderful. Just one story, I like to swim, so I just saw a swimming pool. And I look for the house with the swimming pool. And I knock at the door and I say, look, I'm here for a workshop. You guys have a swimming pool and I love to swim. And say, the guy just handed me the keys. Just come whenever you want. You know, we put some towels for you. You're very welcome in here. I said, wow, these people don't even know me. Anyway, and their music, of course. You know, we have, the typical music in my country is flamenco. And it's has a lot of Arab music. So let me play for you a tune I composed that is based on tangos flamencos. Here you go.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
All right, that was
Good evening.
Abello from Madrid, Spain. And now I'm going to turn it over to Christina Lee. Go ahead, Christina.
Hi. Thanks, Jeremy. Good evening, everyone. Beirut was my home for 3.5 years, from 2008 to 2012. I first went to Beirut to work with students at the Haigazian University, which is founded by the Armenians in Beirut. A couple of years into living in Beirut, I started working with an organization called Tahaddi, which means challenge. And this was an organization that was working with the poorest of the poor in Beirut. And they were providing medical and educational services. I first went there to volunteer to help with donations. Now, one thing that you don't know about me is that I studied music in college at University of Washington here in Seattle, but I thought, you know what, music is so impractical. I want to do something that's practical, you know? I want to get out there and really help the people. So I've been running away from doing music for, 15 years or something like that. Anytime I go anywhere, I end up doing music. Same thing happened with Tahaddi. They said, oh, you are a musician, so can you teach our kids some music? I thought, okay, I'll do it. So I started teaching music to the poorest of the poor children in Beirut. And, even my friends who are Lebanese said, well, why are you teaching them music? Don't they need like food? Yes, absolutely. I ran into some of these kids that were actually begging on the street, same kids that I was teaching music. And I didn't know. I did it because I was asked to do it. But during that time, well, we made a little choir, and the principal wanted us to like do a special presentation for Mother's Day. So, I thought, well, what can they, I don't know what to teach them. So I started teaching them Edelweiss, how to sing Edelweiss, and we did it as a group. And I showed them a little video of Sound of Music. And as I was watching them, I just realized something, that music restores dignity in people, and that music saves lives. Yes, these kids needed food, but I saw something, that a human spirit light up as they were watching the Sound of Music, and they were talking with each other about how they can make their presentation better and what they can do. And as they sang for the Mother's Day for the whole neighborhood, I realized that, you know what? Music is essential. Music saves lives. Music is food to the soul. This week I was moving. I told Jeremy, like, I haven't touched the piano, I'm moving. And I counted how many times I have moved. This is my 22nd move in my life. But my toughest, most traumatic move was moving out of Beirut. I will not go into the details of that move, but I did. And that was the first time I realized what it means to lose your home and having no control over that experience. And my heart goes out to people of Beirut. I've been in touch with some of my friends, and they have all been affected. And their homes are in jeopardy. And so I dedicate this composition. I worked on this composition last month. I didn't know what to call it. I'm calling it Hymn for the Homeless. And this is just sending my heart to you, to my friends in Beirut. Just being with you as you experience this loss. We wish you health and safety. And with time, we wish you to restore your dignity through music, through the help. And anybody who are part of this, I just ask you to also be generous in your giving and sharing your hearts with the people of Beirut.
Thank you so much, Christina. That was gorgeous. Really appreciate that. I know everybody really loved hearing from you and hearing that new piece. Thank you for that. So next up in the program, we're going to hear from Dr. Gene Aitken, who is kind of the patriarch, and he is literally the CEO of this organization, Jazz Education Abroad. He's a really special person. He's kind of single-handedly brought jazz education into a lot of Asia and the Middle East. He's just kind of a legend in the jazz education field. In fact, you'll hear him talking about going into Afghanistan around, I think, 2008, 2010, during the war. And he had to be accompanied by tanks on either side in order to go and bring jazz education to youth. It's a little bit crazy, but Gene's a little bit crazy. So he's going to share some of his remembrances of Lebanon, a place that he's had a really close relationship with. And then we're going to hear just a short introduction from our Taiwanese instructor, Jimmy Lee, who's a great saxophonist, but he's just going to talk with you a little bit. And then we can go right over to Walla Walla, Washington, over from Seattle to Walla Walla, and we'll hear from Dave Glenn, a world-class trombonist, who's going to talk and play a little bit live to you. So that's the plan. First we'll hear from Dr. Gene, then we'll hear from Jimmy Lee in Taiwan, and then we'll hear from Dave in Walla Walla. So give me just a second to make the technology work.
Hi everyone, Gene Aitken here. Good to see you, and hope you can see me okay. All right. Thanks very much to Jeremy for making this video and putting it all together, and the concert and so forth, and fundraising. So I know it will really work out well. I miss all of you. I know it's been a really rough week plus, and but we know that everything will eventually get back to where it was, and even be better than before from what we're able to hear from the outside. Gosh, some history on Lebanon. My gosh, the history of Lebanon specifically was just one of the most wonderful experiences that I've ever had in my life. I was on my way to Afghanistan. This is about 2010, 2009. And the stopping off point was Beirut before we continued on to Iraq, and then on to Kabul, Afghanistan. So we overnighted at a hotel. So the next morning I got up and I thought, gee, I wonder if there's any music going on in Beirut. So I called the American Community School and asked them if they had a band or an orchestra or something like that, if I could come down and observe and so forth. So there was, and there's a gal by the name of AJ who ran the program. Well, it turns out that when she was in high school, and I was at Northern Colorado, I used to go down to Colorado Springs to her high school, and her director was Dick Cusk, who was a very good friend of mine. So, I mean, that was the beginning of everything there. Shortly after that, I went ahead and went to Afghanistan, but then I came back and spent some more time with AJ. And then one time I was downtown and met this guy named Mr. Mookhyber, and he was talking about a band program and yada, 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 and so forth. So eventually, it turned out that that was sort of the beginnings of the Lebanon program in Lebanon. And the key person behind that was Sergey and Tony, and making that thing happen. It was just absolutely an incredible experience for all of those who came in from the outside into Lebanon, and of course for the students and the parents and the teachers in Lebanon. It was a wonderful experience, and it's still going on today. A reduced amount of involvement due to finances and other things that are going on within the country. But we expanded the band program into the jazz program, into an orchestral program. The orchestral program was absolutely a wonderful program. Of course, we had our fingers crossed that would keep going, but it didn't. But the band program kept going, and it was just a wonderful thing for everybody. We were able to bring a lot of instruments into Lebanon. A lot of the instruments from Taipei American School in Taipei, Taiwan. They were instrumental in getting music stands and instruments, and just really made everything possible because the instruments were key, and there just was not the funds or the financial possibilities of getting additional funds for the musical instruments. Anyway, and then eventually I moved into Hamra and lived there for a long, long time. I did email Nabil to find out how the apartment survived, and it took a lot of damage, but everybody there was okay, and so it turned out good. It'd be a long uphill battle for Nabil, who's a great person and knows more about the history of Lebanon than one could ever imagine. He and another person were in the construction business years and years ago, so they know all the history of the underground city and the underground auditorium and everything. It's great, and Beirut is just a wonderful, wonderful place. I could not think of any place better. The people, the food, the countryside. It's just absolutely a beautiful country. And many, many thanks to Olga and Sergey for housing me over the past years and for putting up with me and getting my actually birthday kiss on my bald head every year. So that was great. Anyway, I love all of you very much, and I miss you and miss not coming back there. And I wish you all the best. And my heart is always with you, and the heart's on this side. And it's you're very special, and miss you and love you so much. I hope to see you very soon. Bye bye. I love you. Bye bye.
Hello everyone, this is Jimmy Lee. I'm a saxophonist from Taipei, Taiwan, and I was very fortunate to have a chance to visit Lebanon with jazz education aboard. We had a jazz workshop last year and the year before, so I spent some time over there, and during my stay I met many friends, met people there, and I think Lebanese people are very friendly and generous. And also I eat many good food and visit many beautiful places, so I really enjoy my time in Lebanon. So today I would like to stand with Jazz Education Aboard that we are having this video that trying to encourage every one of you to help Lebanon. And I also want to tell the Lebanese that you are not alone. I know it's really tough time right now, and I really hope that these things, I mean, everything could go through peacefully. And we really look forward to visit Lebanon again, and hope everything will be fine.
Hi, everybody. This is Dave Glenn in Walla Walla, Washington. And actually, my dog Mambo is running out of the room because I'm about to play the trombone. I want to thank Jeremy very much for putting this together. This is a tremendous effort. And we're not only helping the Lebanese people, we're helping ourselves in a lot of ways, because watching that explosion last week, it was just a helpless feeling. It was gut wrenching. See that happen, especially as much as we know that area and as much as we care about that area. So it's wonderful for us to be able to help in some small way. And I really do hope that you can be as generous as possible in helping these people. As everybody's been saying, Lebanon is a beautiful place. The countryside, the mountains, it's gorgeous. It's the land of cedars. It's beautiful, and topographically, it's really dramatic. Also, great food, as Jimmy was saying. But the thing that really brings me back every year, and I went there 5 years in a row from 2015 through 2019. What brought me back every time was the people. As everybody has said, just generous people, very warm, and my heart goes out to them. They're really tremendous people, and we need to help them as much as we can. Thinking about Beirut gets me very sentimental. So my tune for you tonight is the iconic Duke Ellington composition, In a Sentimental Mood. Thank you.
That's Dave Glenn, everybody. Dave, beautiful playing, as always. Now we're gonna have 3 shorter videos. One comes from Paolo Orlandi, who actually lived in Lebanon, and he lives kind of in the French-Swiss Alps. I think he's technically in France. And then we'll hear from Gonzalo Maestra, a Spanish drummer who was with us in Lebanon a couple of years ago. And I think his video is actually from the Canary Islands, which is kind of neat. And then we'll hear from Kyle J. Gregory, or Dr. J as we all call him, who will be coming to us from Beijing rather than Beirut. So a very international set of videos coming here. And thank you to all of you who have stuck around. I know this has been kind of a long program. After that, I'm just gonna play a short last piece to be kind of the post-meal dessert and send you all on your way. I will post the link one more time for donations, but thanks so much to all of you who have already donated, and to those of you who are about to donate, thank you as well. So if you give me just a sec, we'll hear from Paolo Orlandi, we'll hear from Gonzalo Maestra, and we'll hear from Kyle J. Gregory.
It's hot. So let's see if you guys can see me better here. Oh, yes. So this is a special moment, a tragic moment, a difficult moment, a moment where we have to come together for our friends in Lebanon. And this is a special, particularly I feel involved in this because I lived in Lebanon for 4 years. And a big part of my life started there because I arrived in Lebanon, in Beirut, when my kids were 6 months old. And so I learned to be a father in Lebanon. I grew up in Lebanon. I'm still learning to be a father. I'm still growing up. But those 4 years, from 6 months old, my daughters, since they were like 3 or 4, we were in Lebanon, and I learned a lot of things there. I met a lot of friends that are still there. Some of my dearest friends are in Lebanon. Friendships that I renew every time I go back to Lebanon with GAA. I was lucky, extremely lucky, to play, to make records, to make music with a lot of Lebanese friends. I also had the privilege to teach to some of my best friends and some great drummers in Lebanon. I'm not going to name them because there are too many and they're too nice. But now they need help, and we need to come together, even with this little Zoom meeting. Thank you, Jeremy, for the idea. And I think that the most important thing we can do today is to actually find out how to donate, how to rightly donate the money we can give if we can. And I know that our Lebanese friends are putting together a list that will be given during the Zoom meeting of reputable organizations that are going to use the money we donate for the best. And it's a very, very difficult thing right now to stay here, to be here in Europe, and not be able to help. People that I felt when it was the time helped me, because again, arriving in Lebanon as a young father, two twins, wasn't easy, but they made it easier for me. And I'll be forever grateful to that. And I have, also the memory of the city, the memories of the beauty of Beirut that has been canceled with this. And in order to be able to have Beirut rise again, I think this is one of the tools we can use, and it's an honor and a privilege to play this little drum solo for you. So what I'm left with is a big thank you to Jeremy, GAA, that are putting this together, and my support, even from distance, to all my friends that I'm still catching on Skype and on WhatsApp privately. But if I can do something publicly along with all these great musicians today, that's another tool we can use. So pray for Beirut. All the best to all of you, and be strong. And thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Hello, my name is Gonzalo Maestre. I was the drum teacher in the last Jazz Education Abroad Summer Jazz Camp in Lebanon. I didn't know the country before, and I quickly fell in love with the country and the Lebanese people. Now some of them are close friends. They are having difficult times now, so I think we have the opportunity to help them. So please take note of all the information in this video, and if it's possible and you have the opportunity, please help them. I send a big hug to my Lebanese friends and also to my colleagues of Jazz Education Abroad. So let's help them. Thank you very much.
Hi friends, this is J. Kyle Gregory, Dr. J, and I'm happy to get to take part in this concert and recordings, remembering precious friends in Beirut, people who have become very dear to me as I've had the privilege of teaching in Lebanon for a number of years and befriending people. And so I offer this melody as a lament for the suffering people and ask you to be thinking of them and to consider donating to help our friends in Beirut get back on their feet. Thank you.
Well, thank you to Gonzalo and to Kyle and to Paolo. Thank you to everybody who not only came but stayed for this 2-hour-long program. Please, as everybody say, remember Lebanon, give as generously as you can, and be grateful for where you live and the safety that we all have. I think it really, every time we travel somewhere like that, it just makes me so grateful for all the blessings that we have. So I'm going to close by playing a piece which is entitled Peace, P-E-A-C-E, by Horace Silver.
Hey, Jeremy, some music is playing right now.
Got it. Thanks. Take care of it. Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you for letting me know, Mike. Running a Zoom event is difficult. But like I said, I'm going to close it out by playing a beautiful tune by Horace Silver, which is entitled Peace. And that's really, I think, the best that we can wish for the entire world at this moment is peace, happiness, human rights, prosperity. So here it is. Thank you again for joining us tonight. you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate all your love and support for us, for loving us. And, hope to see you all soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Be well.
It was great to see you all, and can't wait to see my colleagues and fellow musicians again in real life soon, hopefully in Beirut soon. Everybody else, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting. Peace.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Really appreciate this. It's Kathy. All best. God bless. And Christina Lee, you're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.